Oh, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is the 43rd Annual Cancer Control Society Convention, Labor Day weekend 2015, Sheraton Universal Hotel in lovely Universal City, California. And you've already heard some excellent presentations today, and one of the emphasis that we like to have is when we can talk about food and food components, things that are whole. We talk about holistic. Well, our next speaker is a brilliant medical doctor, practiced alternative and integrative therapy for many, many years. He's expert on many different topics, but today he's going to talk about the power of whole seeds, and I think you'll find extremely interesting. Very good to have you back, Dr. Brad Weeks.
Thank you very much. All right, welcome. Thank you very much. All right. Just a quick question before we get started here. How many of you, when you eat an apple, eat the seeds? So, congratulations. You know, you put this in a regular group of people in America, we'd get very few answers. But we're going to talk about eating the seeds, and I'm going to give you some science, and I'm going to give you some good information, because the concept is we understand that food is our first medicine. The saying is, if the food's not good, the medicine's worthless, and if the food is good, the medicine's worthless. But you have to eat the right foods. And we're going to make the point that the whole ground-up seed, not the extracted seed oil, but the whole ground-up seed is the most nutrient-dense and medicinal food on earth. So, the goals for today are to encourage you all and your loved ones to eat the crushed, whole, raw, organic, non-GMO seeds. And I'm going to want to demonstrate the superiority of eating the crushed seeds to buying extracted seed oils. We're going to touch on the fact that inflammation is what kills us. One of the seeds we feature, black cumin seed, in the Quran, the Prophet Muhammad said, the black cumin seed cures everything but death. Okay? It's pretty high praise, and now we know that inflammation is what kills us. It turns out that the black cumin seed is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory seeds on earth. Next, we're going to talk about how cancer spreads by inflammation. If you didn't understand that, this is critically important because the primary cancer rarely kills anybody. It can grow and it can obstruct a vessel or a bronchiole or something, but for the most part, it's the metastatic disease which kills people. And the metastatic process is an inflammatory process. I'm going to give you some information today that in Nature, in the premier scientific journals, they're moving away from chemo and radiation and towards anti-inflammatories. That's big news. In fact, there was something published just yesterday that I have to share with you. And then I'm going to remind you what I spoke about last year and a couple of years ago, that it's the cancer stem cells which are the target. Please, please, please remember this. The cancer stem cells are lethal, the cancer tumor cells are not. Chemo and radiation kills the cancer tumor cells. It makes the cancer stem cells more numerous and more virulent. So we're going to have to really underscore that again. And lastly, I'm going to share with you really the freshest options and the most sensible options. I like the word sensible. Safe, effective, and cost-effective. Sensible. Okay, so that's really too many goals for a 20-minute lecture. So the real goal is I want you to pass this exam, this pass-fail exam at the end of the lecture. Question, should I eat the seed? Answer, yes. Okay? Now, as long as there's not too much cyanic acid, but we know that sola dosis facit venom, which means dosage is what poisons are about. So please don't go home and eat the wrong seeds in excess and get cyanide poisoning. But the right seeds are fabulous. Okay, now what is a seed? Well, we think of it as an embryo, of course. We think of it as the treasure chest of nature. There's 20-fold more nutrients in the seed than in the fruit. And yet we throw it away. It's full of bioflavonoids, and in particular the husk. Remember, I'm encouraging you to eat the whole ground-up seed, not the extracted oils. The husk has all the anti-inflammatory, all the antioxidants, And in fact, we know it's rich with bioflavonoids, beta-1,3-glucan, and polymannose. You have to think of the husk as a laminated polymannose, and it's where the immune potentiating glycoproteins are. You don't get that in the seed, you get that in the husk. In the extracted seed oils, you don't get any husk. Okay, you've heard me say it's 20-fold more nutritious, the seed, than the rest of the plant. We describe it as the treasure chest. Now here's a wonderful picture of a seed. And this testa, which is the coating, is really where the magic is. You get lots of nutrients in the seed, but this is the halo of magic around the seeds. Do not deprive yourself of that. Seed research in agronomy and agriculture is considered the most exciting area of research today. A lot of institutions have institutes of seed biology, and I'm telling you that in the future, we're going to be eating seeds much more than today. And what's wrong with this picture? Seedless grapes. Seedless grapes, seedless watermelon. When you think about it, how stupid is that? Right? But why don't we eat the seeds? Bitter and encased in a husk. Well, I'll show you how you can get around that. If you can add natural sweeteners, ribose, xylitol, honey, any of the good sweeteners, now the seed's not bitter. How do you get rid of the husk and the lack of digestibility? You grab your seeds, organic, non-GMO seeds, you freeze them in a glass container in your freezer. Every morning, you take a tablespoon of each of the seeds out, you put it in your secondhand coffee blender, and you blend up the brittle seed into a fine powder you can add to your food. Okay? If you do it with a non-frozen seed, it'll be gummy. Freeze the seeds, grind them. You can get a secondhand coffee grinder at any of the thrift stores, and now you're eating the best food on earth. So which looks better, really, this anemic little watermelon here or the natural product with the seeds? Did you know that what we know in the watermelon is that citrulline is mostly found in the rind? Now, I don't really like eating the rind, but I know a lot of people who go right down to the green. The rind is where the most citrulline is, and the citrulline converts to arginine. It's very, very immune stimulating. Again, anemic versus rich. The watermelon seeds are the best nourishing snacks you can eat to keep your skin, hair, and fingernails healthy. Unsaturated fatty acids in the seed, 10% more protein. So we have a fabulous treasure chest. Let's talk about the wonderful pineapple, the core, which is where the reproductive forces in the pineapple are. The core and the peel are basically the highest amount of bromelain can be found there. Why do we throw away the core? Here's your orange. I like this one here. But it's the scuzzy stuff, which is where the bioflavonoids and all the nutrients are. But if you eat the rind, the vitamin C is twice as much in the peel than in the orange. So I'm trying to just make this point for you. If you eat the seeds, pumpkin, dense seed breads, avocado, how many people actually juice in the Vitamix the avocado pit and the avocado? Next time, thank you. Next time, do this. Get your Vitamix. I'll show you the recipe, but look at this. This pit, which everybody throws away, is the most nutrient-dense part of the avocado. It's meat. It's just a tiny little skin. Do not throw the avocado pit away. Okay, so we know about drinking seeds. Coffee, of course, from a bean or a seed, pomegranate. And here's Lao Tzu saying that to see things in the seed is genius. I love that statement. Okay, case study number 1, chief complaint. My wife says that my hair looks dirty. We got a lot of serious problems in our office, and this gentleman came in. What happened? He'd been eating a seed product for a period of time, and you can see his hair was turning blonde again. He says, I don't care if it looks dirty. I haven't been blonde in 30 years. If anybody else knows how to have hair grow in at the original color, please let me know. If you eat seeds, you're getting the best genetic supplement, DNA and RNA spare parts, organic, non-GMO. He survived. Okay, can we cure aging? Controlling inflammation? Aging is a side effect of inflammation. You have to understand that. That's why the term inflammaging is being used. It's the inflammatory response is being triggered. That leads to age-related tissue damage. Inflammaging describes that it's aging because of inflammation. That's why when you see identical twins and one had an inflammatory lifestyle, maybe cigarettes and alcohol and drugs and so forth, same age, they're more inflamed, they look twice as old. Sensible anti-aging options. Mother Nature does put all her eggs in one basket, and it's called the seed. Now let's go back to getting DNA and RNA from the seeds. You know, if you eat flesh or any plant product, you can get some DNA and RNA. But who is the guy that said he robs banks because that's where the money is? Who is that? Somebody. Well, I eat seeds because that's where the DNA and the RNA is. All right, let's go through this. When you eat living food, life comes from life, you're going to get digestive products, and the DNA and the RNA is packed in the seed more than anywhere else. And so what you do is you get to buff up your own genes. So Genetics 101, you know that the RNA sends messages to the DNA which instructs the cell. Where is the most genetic material concentrated? In the seed. And here's the proof in the pudding. This gentleman at age 62 had white hair for many years. Active, no complaints, no illness, no medications, white hair. At 92, hair is coming in black. After 9 months, I thought this guy had boot black in his hair. What the heck is that? Hair is coming in black. You can see it again. 92 years old after 1 year of eating raw, whole, cold-pressed, crushed seeds. Is that interesting to people? What's it doing to the rest of his body? This nutrition. In the cancer patients that we work with, I would put raw seeds ahead of any chemo or any other agent. Okay, if you want to help people with cancer, I would be having them eat the seeds. Imagine what it's doing to the rest of his body. This lady at 89, you can see after a couple years on the product, her hair is coming in black. I looked in the back of her head, it's totally black. 89 years old after being white-haired. Now, this is the fingernails of a 92-year-old gentleman. I wish I had fingernails that looked that good. Fingernails and the hair tell you how the body is progressing. We know about inflammation being responsible for all illnesses, not just sore joints, but aging, degeneration, cardiovascular. I want to really make sure people understand that metastasis is an inflammatory process. You need anti-inflammatories. Now, inflammation drives all chronic illnesses, predicts virtually all bad outcomes in human. These are all scientific references, University of Vermont, Dr. Russell. Depression and all psychiatric illnesses are driven by inflammation. This is May of 2015. Inflammation drives all psychiatric disorders. That's why if you have someone you love who's anxious, has PTSD, depression, schizophrenia, manic depression, insomnia, give that person whole, crushed, raw, organic seeds. Inflammation, not just gastric, shoulders, A to Z. You give me anybody with asthma, back pain, cancer, diabetes, eczema, I'm going down the alphabet, all the way to zits. Any chronic degenerative illness is driven by inflammation. And if you choose the right seeds, not all seeds are anti-inflammatory, the seeds we're going to talk about today are, you can address all of those. Now, anti-inflammatory foods, anti-inflammatory diets, fabulous. What's all this? This is living food. This is seeds. You're not going to get any preserved foods in an anti-inflammatory diet. So that's seeds. I'm going to come back to that, but I want to pause now because we're at a cancer convention. I just want to put my hands together for Lorraine and Frank, 43 years. Which of us has done anything for 43 years of service to others? Astonishing. And all the support staff. Now, this was published yesterday, and what we've learned is that androgen receptor and prostate cancer stem cells, they talk about them. And I'm making the point again about cancer stem cells being the real target. Published yesterday, they say clonal evolution driven by genetic instability and interclonal cancer diversification is driven by cancer stem cells. Never let your oncologist recommend chemo and radiation again, because chemo and radiation is proven to make cancer stem cells more numerous and more virulent. Now, this is the revolution in cancer care, and this is a fabulous article in Nature 2014, just about 6 or 8 months ago. They basically say that previous studies have demonstrated that cancer stem cells are selectively enriched after chemotherapy through enhanced survival. They go on to say that the chemo and radiation promote neighboring cancer stem cell repopulation, and they recommend Celebrex. Nature 2014. They're saying if you have cancer, take Celebrex, which destroys kidney and liver, of course. But Celebrex is an anti-inflammatory. If you're eating anti-inflammatory seeds, you're doing what the top researchers in science and oncology are recommending. So the take-home message from this Nature article is that chemotherapy makes cancer stem cells worse and makes the cancers return, and that in order to treat the cancer stem cells, you need to use anti-inflammatory agents, and that anti-inflammatory agents also inhibit metastatic process, and they recommend Celebrex. That has dangerous side effects, but we now know that the anti-inflammatory diet is powerful medicine, and eating crushed seeds is the most cost-effective, safe, and effective. Now, the metaphor I want you to understand is if you're the sheriff and there's going to be a riot downtown, and you send your deputies to take care of the riot, how silly if your deputies arrest all the bystanders and the rioters and let the ringleaders go free. Please understand that cancer tumor cells are the rioters. The ringleaders are the cancer stem cells. Chemotherapy puts the rioters in jail and lets the lethal ringleaders not only go free to the next town, but they can recruit 10 other ringleaders. Don't settle for treating the tumor. This is Max Wicha, former distinguished professor, director, University of Michigan Comprehensive Cancer Center. He's now on the National Cancer Advisory Board. What does he say about chemo and radiation? Read that. Anybody? This is not an alternative doctor. Chemo and radiation makes cancer worse because the problem is when you kill cancer tumor cells with chemotherapy, the cancer stem cells are stimulated to grow. And when you do that, you get more tumors more quickly. What is a tumor? Well, it's a group of cells, but the point is less than 1% of the tumor is dangerous because less than 1% can metastasize. I'm going through rather quickly, but these are all going to be available. What metastasizes? Not tumor cells, stem cells. Only the cancer stem cells can metastasize. Cancer stem cells are resistant to chemo and radiation, and the cancer stem cells proliferate when they're stressed by those two treatments. So we recommend addressing the cancer stem cells. That's corrective cancer care, another lecture. But Dr. Wicha has come up with a Reproxetane, which is his anti-cancer agent. What is it? It's an anti-inflammatory. Now, we know about anti-inflammation. It's been discussed in many of the top journals. And the questions for your oncologist are, knowing what you know now, you ask him or her, why are you not recommending any safe anti-inflammatories? Number two, why do you offer weak chemotherapy patients sugar? If you've been in the chemo rooms, they give you candy and donuts and everything else. And what will you do to enhance my health while going after the tumor? And what are you going to do about my cancer stem cells? Those are the questions. So the new strategy is to eat the seeds. And I've said that every plant on Earth has anti-cancer properties. It doesn't get to be on Earth. Tomorrow we might find out that the tulip has anti-cancer properties. We know that the Easter lily does. All these seeds. Laetrile is the most popular seed for cancer, of course. Black cumin seed stimulates the cancer suppressor gene. It also is anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer by a bunch of other mechanisms, P53, P73, P10, and so forth. So the black cumin seed not only kills tumor cells, it also kills the cancer stem cells, anti-inflammatory, preventing metastatic disease. What happens if you add the black cumin seed with conventional chemotherapy? You get greater killing effect of the chemo and less side effects. This makes chemo more effective at killing tumor cells and less side effects. Now, also, radiation and chemotherapy are both minimized when you eat the seeds. So eat the whole seed. Chew or grind, add natural sweeteners, don't throw away the best part. This is the best part, the outside. It's like a lamination of glycoproteins, immune-enhancing glycoproteins. Here's an apple, immature. Seeds are not yet laminated. They're not yet protected. Here's a mature apple. You can see that the lamination process of the polymannose, the most nutrient-dense part of the seed, has been applied. Like oil like oil distillation, you start with a gas, you keep adding carbon and hydrogen, and you end up with asphalt. That's what the plant does to make its protective seed. Make sure you're eating that seed cover. Now, I've always said that I stand firmly on the shifting sands of science. So my patients are not surprised when I endorse something for 10 years and then change my mind. If the science is good, I'll change my mind. Now, here's the shocker. Stop taking fish oil. How many people are taking fish oil? Please do the research. Fish oil suffocates cell membranes. Your body is mostly omega-6, not omega-3. Fish oil is the #1 selling nutritional supplement in the world. There's a lot of economic forces that tell you to keep taking fish oil. Take seed oil instead. And stop drinking extracted seed oil. Brian Peskin, great scientist, the parent essential oil solution, he points out it takes 17 pounds of fish to make 1 pharmaceutical-grade fish oil capsule. It is not a good process. Fish oil suffocates the cell membranes. Now, this is what you do with an extracted oil. You can read that at your leisure. You're filtering, you're bleaching, you're spinning, you're boiling, blah, blah, blah. Why not just get the whole seeds raw, freeze them, grind them, and eat them? Andy Weil, important statement. Oxidized seed oils create inflammatory effects and are responsible for elevating heart disease. When you buy your extracted seed oil in a quart container, halfway through the month, it's oxidized and it's dangerous. Get the whole seed. You can do all sorts of smart things when you're buying oils, buy from the back and so forth. You can check the expiration dates, but essentially you're better off grinding them yourselves, the whole crushed seed. Now, here's a healthy meal. What's missing? Anybody? Seeds. That doesn't look very appetizing, but I've told you can blend up the entire avocado and get much more nutrients. These would probably need to be ground up and add something like chocolate ice cream to make it taste better. But at any rate, don't throw away the seeds. We cut this avocado this morning, and within a minute it was oxidizing. I share that with you because this demonstrates that that's the treasure of the plant. That's the most precious and quickest to go rancid is the inside of the avocado. Very nutrient dense. This is someone with a sunburn, didn't want it to peel. This is yours truly. I'm fair-skinned, I sunburn. Seed oils penetrate the skin and feed the face. I haven't had sunburn or peeling since I started rubbing a product called Soul on my face, these seed oils. We're at booth 106, first booth on the right as you go down this way. Rub some of this on your face. Now, my wife ended up hurting herself by jumping off of a 16-foot orchard ladder in our organic garden, and you rub Soul on that. This is the seed oil process. Let's just say that the freshest option is always the real food. Any packaging is a compromise. But this is the product Soul. Kids love it. It's ground up whole seeds. Most people are going to be inclined to do the easy thing, not grind it or harvest it, but just rip and sip. We're talking about convenience gives you compliance. So the products we're talking about are Soul for regeneration and anti-inflammation. That's the black cumin seed, the black raspberry seed, and the Chardonnay grape seed. Core has all the greens for detoxification, chlorella, kale, spirulina, aloe vera, wheatgrass, and so forth, dandelion. And Form is a seed-based protein powder, nothing but seeds. It's got the pea, it's got the sacha inchi, it's got hemp, it's got chia, and so forth. So this is the black cumin, the black raspberry, and the Chardonnay grape. These are the products which are in Soul. One packet of Soul is the equivalent of 8 to 10 servings of organic fruit and organic vegetables because of the nutrient density of the seeds. 3 servings of organic cold-pressed seed oil. Core, all the detoxifying, alkalinizing greens with milk thistle seed, cranberry seed for the kidney and urinary tract, milk thistle for the liver, and the black cumin seed. That's your detoxifying agent. And the protein powder, which we love, is sacha inchi, pea, hemp, chia, cranberry, and pumpkin. That's the sacha inchi fruit. Beautiful. So don't miss out on eating the real cuisine. The VIP Lounge of Nature is the whole seed. If you want to have a great drink instead of ice cream, nut milks, we like to fresh blend them, honey, the entire avocado, including the pit, nutmeg, vanilla bean, and I like to have organic non-GMO ice. Can I have an amen on that? Something without fluoride or chloride. We like our ice organic. And then let's end with Henry David Thoreau, reminding us, I have great faith in a seed. Convince me you have a seed there, and I'm prepared to expect wonders. Now, eat the seeds because it's the most nutrient-dense part of the plant. Pick your seeds carefully. The product Soul has the most powerful anti-inflammatory seeds, and inflammation is what kills us. If you have anybody you love who's taking cancer treatments, you know that the cancer treatments are more dangerous than the cancer in many cases. And what kills people is a lack of nutrition. So the product Form, that seed-based powder, is excellent for cachexia. The Soul prevents the metastatic process, being a powerful anti-inflammatory, and the Core is detoxifying. That's the three-legged stool you need to be healthy. If you're a fabulous human being and full of doing the right things, you buy those seeds yourself and you freeze them, and you grind them every morning. Frankly, it's going to be 1 in a million who'll do that. So we're offering a fabulous packaged, organic, non-GMO, seed-based, whole seed-based product at that booth. That's my time. I appreciate your time. My patients call me the seed doctor. I'd like to think I do more than just seeds, but let's start there.